Time now for Options Insight. I'm Abigail Doolittle. Joining me today is Alan Nuckman of Agora Financial at the SIBO in Chicago. Great to have you here as always, Alan. And so we have an unusual event to some degree here with the breakout of this coronavirus. We are headed for the second greater than 1% move for the S&P 500 after a multi-month stretch of no 1% moves, lots of complacency during the melt-up. What are you watching to see whether or not this is going to turn into something more than headline risk?
Well, I'm going to keep my focus on the 3,200 level in the S&P. That was the target after that long-term range we had last summer from May to October of that range from 2,800 to 3,000. So that targeted 3,200. Let's look and see how that acts as super support on the downside on any pullbacks. That was an unexpected unwind. Obviously, we didn't know what the catalyst was going to be but you had said, that the markets had gone straight up. We were looking for some profit taking. That's what happened. We were down 1.5% yesterday. We're up 1% today. So we're getting a lot back, and the VIX is still trading right now at the 15 handle. So again, we had a temporary flare up, but it looks like it's beaten down one more time.
Yeah, I was about to ask you about that VIX and also the skew index and anything else that you're seeing beneath the lid relative to options. Any sense that there are traders out there who are really positioning for something scary, for lack of a better way to put it, ahead?
Well, I don't think anything's changed. People always position for some, negative events, and anything can happen. And that's why these markets are here, to be used as a hedge for protection. And people often do that with VIX puts VIX calls as opposed to buying S&P puts. It's just a different way to protect yourself in the marketplace. But I don't think the bull market's over. We've overcome each and every crisis over the last decade, and we're in the midst of earnings season, and I can give the market a jolt one more time.
Well, speaking of earnings, and that was what I wanted to turn to next. Do you think that could be the catalyst to actually bring us out of this small little trough and send us higher? Of course, Apple after the bell, that'll be a big one. That could really be a big influence tomorrow.
Exactly, and it's about interest rates too. We've got the Fed, but they're not going to do anything with rates there this week. There's less than a 50% chance of a cut by July and a 75% chance by December. So it's still possible, but the Fed and the policymakers are going to do everything they can to support the market. So by no means is the end in.
Okay, well, that probably is true. When we receive more commentary, some are saying that Fed Chair Jay Powell probably just wants to stay under the radar during this one. Relative to your trading idea, American Airlines down yesterday in a big way, down more than 5% on the coronavirus, but today bouncing back. And over the last year, really having a hard time getting out of its own way, down more than 25%. Talk to us about your trade idea here.
Well, the strategy here is picking a stock that looks bad enough to actually buy, because this stock has not gone anywhere. It's down 25% in the last year. It's down 50% in the last year and a half. So looking at this, technically, it's made a double bottom base here at 24, trading between 24 and 32. Look for some sort of little spark up. Only 4% of its revenues are attributed to Asia, so it's really unscathed from that situation. What I'm looking at is an August call, an in-the-money call that's going to act like the stock, a 23 strike, which is actually below the low, and it hasn't been to 23 since, I think, 2013. So it's been a long time. That 23 call is going for about $5.50 right now, and it's $4 in the money. So it's got a high delta. It's going to act like the stock. And if we get to the top of that trading channel at 32, that option would double.
Alan Nuckman of Agora Financial, thank you for your commentary on the markets. Cool heads will prevail, and also your trading idea there on American Airlines. And from New York, this is Bloomberg.
Today's Options Insight is sponsored by Think or Swim by TD Ameritrade.